So today we have Sean Mullins, known on Instagram as Pensacola Vibes. He is an editor and videographer for Levin Rinke, a very large real estate company here along the Gulf Coast, as well as a pretty well-known skater and man about the town. Welcome. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Appreciate you having me here.
So, Sean, I think most people are going to know you from Pensacola Vibes, your Instagram account, which is now up to north of 21,000 subscribers.
21,000 on Instagram, and then almost either, I think I've already surpassed 70,000 likes on Facebook.
Facebook, man.
Yeah.
You're doing so well on those things, and
I
which
appreciate it.
Fan myself. There we go. Shout out.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. Buy the merch.
Wow. How neat is that?
PensacolaVibes.com.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. There's a store. It's got a great hoodie. I really like the Zippo hoodie. It's got the Blue Angels on it.
Sun, you know.
It's good. It's
Pensacola
a good one.
vibe.
It's got that one. Yeah, it's got a couple of things on sale right now if this comes out in time. Got helping you out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think most people are going to know you from that, and you've grown that very organically as a passion project. What made you go down that road? And
I just, I always based what I do off of what I've seen other people do. And, some people just love just selling themselves, selling their product. And I just try to organically move Pensacola Vibes to attract the people that I wanted to do. What I liked was similarities that I had in areas about like nature trails. Like all the nature trails I went to, I loved all of them. And Pensacola can be amazing for the sunset and the Blue Angels, but it's a lot more than that. It's not just Blue Angels, which are amazing. There's something that gets me going when I see them fly by over the pier, like right over your head. That's America as America could possibly be. But if you go to these nature trails that some people in Pensacola haven't been there their entire lives, they don't know about it. But people that have, they have a lot more emotional response to that. And that's awesome to get any kind of feedback saying that, me and my husband, like 10 years ago, we used to walk down that trail all the time, and we moved to Georgia. But thank you. So next time we come visit Pensacola, we're totally going there. Like, just to see that, I've had people send me videos of them showing their parents. Like, wow, that was an amazing video. And to see that response really affects me emotionally. It makes me want to do what I do more. So, yeah. That's what made me keep on doing Pensacola Vibes, maybe start it. I mean, just that.
And is this, you have a lot of posts that are either sunset or sunrise, getting up. Have you always been a person who's out at those kind of golden hours, or this has been the drive for you to explore more and be there at those times?
The drive, of course, when I get more response out of things, it makes me want to do it more, but it always makes me want to do it in a different creative way. I've never been a photographer. I started off with a GoPro. Just taking the GoPro with the stick and just holding it as high as I could or as low as I could and just right on the plane. But then I got a camera and I realized like the macro shots, which is what I enjoyed a lot more. But if I could do the macro shots, the up close shots, with a beach ball in the background or something downtown on Palafox, to where something in the photo, someone can see where it's at. They know it's in Pensacola, but they can relate to it. So that's what I always try to do. I try to break the plane of just a photo, straight, level, but I want to do something more unique with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been trying now with video as well.
And you've been doing a really good job at that. And I think that's one of the reasons people are following your account so closely is you have a lot of stuff that people don't see. I've lived here for more than 15 years now, and I grew up nearby in Crestview, so the Destin area. And, there's a lot of kind of shots that I haven't seen because you're there at the various times. And I know you've been making, I'm sure you're not on that GoPro anymore because now you're making those big canvas prints that you're selling.
I still use the GoPro for underwater shots. Yeah. For sure. Like going to the reef. And like the first viral video I had with the Blue Angels was me holding the GoPro below the water and then above the water. And that was like before phones were waterproof. But like now I feel like I can just take my iPhone, which I've done some videos with my iPhone. It's just technology makes it a lot easier. But yeah, much more in depth with the camera, the drone. The drone's amazing. But then the more I use it, the more I find out how I can do something creative wise, like whether or not it's a hyperlapse or a time lapse. Like everyone's got a drone now. So how do you try to make something more creative with that? And that's how where a hyperlapse comes in or a time lapse in. No one has that perspective.
Right.
So it's just a lot of fun. Everything just makes me more passionate about what I do.
What was the impetus to make you start? You originally were kind of copying people you had seen, but what made you Was it something you just did for fun and then it kind of took off, so you put more of yourself into it?
Well, we can get into the story about how I deviated my septum.
Oh, okay. They're related.
So I had photos already of all these nature trails. I don't even know why I started taking them. I just had the GoPro. I was messing with it. I think it's when Instagram started getting more traction, and so it made me more like made me want to do it more. Made me want to go out and take photos. But I drove 5 hours east of here from Pensacola to Jacksonville for a skimboard competition in Volano. I literally could park on the beach. Got out of the car, took my skimboard down, did a 360 shove it. My feet landed on the side of the board. The board popped up, hit me in the face. My nose got split in two. A lady asked me if I was okay. I had my hands up to my face, and I said, "No, I'm not okay." Blood's just coming all down my face. Anyway, I got back, and for some reason, like, oh man, I don't have health insurance. Like, I need to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe I should start a lifestyle brand like everyone else. And like 2 days into it, I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna make enough money to pay for my bills, but I'm gonna still do it. Like, I'm getting a response to motivate me to keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not losing any money. Like, you you upload a photo on Instagram, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. And so I just kept on doing it. And I realized that more people were trying to get followers that just didn't work out. But that's what made me start Pensacola Farms, splitting my nose in two. A lot of people don't have that story. People think I'm just really passionate about Pensacola, but I am passionate about Pensacola, but that's not what started it. Everyone knows it kick in the ass. I just had a kick in my nose on my board.
Oh,
Here I am.
that's a nice little segue. We'll go back to the Facebook and Instagram and growing those, but it's a good transition into the skimboarding.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, I knew you worked at Waterboys, and I kind of mentioned you as a skateboarder coming in, but you don't really do that as much as you do the skimboarding.
No,
right?
no. Skateboarding, I can get from point A to point B. Once again, we want to talk about injuries. I've had 2 knee surgeries. And that's when the second knee surgery is when I started working at Waterboys. And I was just a graphic designer there. I didn't do anything retail. I just started doing Photoshop. And that was kind of my transition from, that's what I wanted to do, was being a creative person. I went to UWF for ROTC. I was going to go in the Army, but I decided not to because I felt like that's not what I was passionate about. I don't like people telling me what to do. I love the military. I love the whole entire, like, that's where I had the regiment down. Just the consistency to keep on working and hustling. But I found the creative side was where I was going to go to. But yeah, that's how I got into skimboarding then. It was right after that. And I started skimboarding more so than skating because if I fell in the water. If something made me stop, my body would keep on going. I wouldn't fall on concrete, like side-to-side motions. And I just got better at it. So not that hesitant to skimboard. Like, I literally can skimboard all day and not fall. Where skateboarding, if I'm not paying attention, a little pebble's going to stop me and I'm falling forward.
Yeah. So the skimboarding, you said or you broke your nose at a competition. So you got into it enough that you did it competitively.
Yeah. That was actually at the competition. Of course, the doctor said, "You're not going to skimboard tomorrow, right?" And I said, "No, I'm not going to." And like, I competed, I got to the semifinals, but that's about it. Because the pressure was so hard. It was my sinuses. And it was really bumming because, skimboarding, the other passion I have is freediving now. That's when I first started getting into freediving. And I said to myself, well, at least I can go freediving. It's like, wait, I can't even go freediving because I have a mask on. How am I supposed to equalize? Like, I would have to put pressure on my nose. It's like, that was a bummer. So I just drove there for 5 hours, competed, didn't place, and then just drove over 5 hours home. But it was still fun. Like, I hung out with all the friends that I had there. And
now, I know you're still doing some freediving now. Are you still doing the skimboarding competitively?
Yeah. The last competition, where was I? Was in Panama City, and I placed second for my age division.
Nice.
So, yeah, still got it somewhat.
Yeah. You weren't ever a photographer. You kind of had a graphic design background.
Yeah.
I'm certain you've probably kind of had to become a bit of a photographer, a video guy and all that stuff. You've probably had to develop all these skills. Did those come along naturally, or did you, have to seek it out as you went and said, okay, I know I want to do this in the future. I better start getting the skills ready?
I mean, when I was in high school, that's when I first started downloading things illegally, like, LimeWire. I had that. Then I downloaded Photoshop, and I was playing computer video games, and I saw everyone had signatures in the forums. I played this game called Black Hawk Down for the computer, which some people probably don't even know. And that progressed to something fun, to doing graphic design, to going to school for advertising and minor in art. And then when I came back to Waterboys, I left there for a year. The owner, Sean Fell, told me that I need to do more video. Like, video is the thing. I remember the first video that I took on Instagram. It was like 15 seconds. That was huge. literally all I did was pan on everyone else, like all of us at Paradise Grill during summer camp, like surf camp, and like it was not cool at all. But to go from there to making myself to do video editing, that was the only thing that I felt like I was forced to do.
Hmm.
But now it's the most fun I have. Like doing video editing, recording video, because I love taking photos. Don't get me wrong, I
Hmm.
love taking them, but I feel like I could be a lot more creative doing videos.
Yeah.
There's a lot more thinking going into, especially flying the drone. Like if
Hmm.
let's say theoretically, if I had only one battery, which I usually keep 3 batteries of my drone on me at all times. Before I put that thing in the sky, I gotta think about what shots I'm gonna do before that even happens. Like, I'm gonna fly the drone through here. Gotta do this, and I'm so it's a game to me. It's a game. Like, how can I do this the best and the most unique way instead of just doing one shot flat on you? Like, do close up on the side of your face. Like, the lighting looks good. There's a lot more that goes into it, which is
Right.
why I'm here now.
That's fantastic, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't fly my drone as much as I used to. If you look at my Instagram,
Hmm.
not for Creatives Incorporated, but for Travis L. Patterson,
Hmm.
um, there's a bulk of a bunch of drone shots,
Hmm.
and that's kind of
I remember the drone shot that you showed me. It was oh my gosh, it's of like the lake, or it's like the moon.
yeah. That's the Haji Shrine up on
Yeah, and
Nine
I
Mile.
still
Yeah, yeah,
haven't gone there, but you made me want to
yeah,
do more shots like that. But
yeah.
continue what you're saying. I'm sorry.
And so I have a bunch of shots that I did like that. I did like a 30-day challenge where I was trying to post pretty much a drone shot every
Mhm.
30 days. So I'd get up and I'd go, and that was because I was starting to tie it to more of my business accounts,
Uh-huh.
and I haven't done much with it. But everything on my Instagram was pictures of the family and the kid,
Yeah.
and nothing. And I didn't want to get rid of them, so I decided I was like, I'm going to put this, grid of 3, do 10 rows, 30 days, gives a nice
Yeah.
buffer. People are going to have to really go way down
Hmm.
to notice anything else. And so that's why I did it. And once I hit that 30 days, I've done a few things, but I
Yeah.
didn't stick with it. And that's what I find is hard, is the consistency that you've had to build Pensacola vibes in these accounts.
Hmm.
And now to that purpose, are you going out and shooting a lot of content and banking it and then releasing it? Or are you really going out pretty much every day, every couple of days?
Well, when I first started doing it, I was taking a bunch of shots of like one nature trail. Like, let's say it was Big Lagoon. Like, I just do like 30 photos and store it in my drive, put the date on it, and then we'll put a little description in the same folder saying clear day or like sunset. And then lately, since I have such a following, I'm much more critical about what I post now. Because I feel like people can tell when it's in the moment and when it's not. I
Mhm.
mean, it'd be hard for them to tell,
Mm-hmm.
but I like to try to treat the people that are watching Pensacola Vibes and following it as if they are intelligent, not that they're stupid. Like that is the biggest thing for me, is to treat my audience as if they're intelligent. Like they're witty. I'm witty. I want my intelligence, my intelligence, my audience to be witty. So I think that gains more attraction. It makes it more unique. It makes it more something that people want to follow, something to be a part of. Like that's why I don't follow anyone on Pensacola Vibes. That's why I only post my photos. I don't reshare anything. I just try to make it the most unique thing possible.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I think an earnestness and an honesty comes across that way too.
I try.
You know,
The fan base that I have is really loyal, and I think I owe it to them to give them something that they enjoy to see.
you've done really well on Facebook, but Instagram can be either have something that takes off or it's a slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
And photography accounts are popular, and travel accounts are popular, but growing one that's kind of specific to a city
Mm-hmm.
is a little bit more of a niche. And we know quite a few Instagram people who have done pretty well, have 50 to 100,000 and such, but and this is no dig against them. A lot of them are attractive women, and that grows pretty quickly. That's you go that route. It's easier to build an audience. You've chosen a route that I find, that you really have to honestly connect with people, and like you said, those stories where people contact you and talk about histories with their parents or places they visited, vacationed. You're connecting with them on an emotional level.
Yeah, and it's weird for some reason sometimes, and like they're not bots, but like I'll have people just message me randomly and say how much they love the work that I'm doing, and like that, like I tell people I have no soul, but like that pulls on my heartstrings like hard, and like for some reason it will happen like in one weekend and nothing. Like I'll have people messaging me about stuff like replying, but like some people will just go out of their way, like people I don't know. and just say, "You're doing an amazing job. It makes me miss home. Like, thank you for doing what you do." I was like, "That is awesome." Like, you never hear that. Like, I never see that. So that like I said, that's what just motivates me to keep doing what I do. I love every second of it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Now, as well as you've been doing with the accounts, now I know there have been other kind of city themed and Gulf Coast themed accounts pop up. Are you viewing those as competitions? More the merrier? How do you feel about it?
No, it's definitely not competition. It's the same thing to me as like Visit Pensacola. When I first started Pensacola Vibes, I did follow like 5 accounts. I followed like Share a Little Sunshine, Visit Pensacola, and City of Pensacola because I wanted people to think that it was an actual like legit account. Because I don't know if it even had the check mark back in that day. Haven't even applied for one. I think I'm going to for Pensacola Vibes because I have such a following. But no, like I said, Gulf Coast Locals, that's an awesome brand. I never see anything like that as competition. The more the merrier, like you said. And it just pushes me and hopefully pushes him to try to do better. Like design wise, for me, it reminds me of Waterboys and Interlight. Like Interlight is competition for Waterboys. Yeah, that's awesome. I wish we could play dodgeball against each other, but it would be fun. At the end of the day, people think sometimes that Waterboys or Interlight they have some kind of headbutt things. But if you're not a good person and you're associated with Interlight or Waterboys, that's just that person. It has nothing to do with the business itself. So that's my perspective on it.
I think it's a really healthy and a great way. I know in this community, I do a lot of freelance work, and we're all kind of, except for a few places like Vivid Bridge, most of us are one man band outfits. And we're kind of all the royal we with our businesses because I've had accounts and I've had jobs I've been hired for where I've needed a crew. And a lot of people have been hired for jobs and they've needed crews. And what we do is we just hire each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they're not competition. They're kind of your coworkers. They're people that are peers in the industry.
Exactly.
And, like you said, if there's someone around that people don't like, that isn't good at business, isn't good to socialize with, people find out they don't work.
Yeah, I mean, like Vivid Bridge, Chris and I, my coworker Chris from Love and Reiki Realty, we will look at local companies here that do video and we'll base it off of that and like, wow, that's competition. And then sometimes I'll look to the right of me where Chris works right next to me. I was like, damn, that video that he's doing is really good.
Yeah.
I know he's on the same team as me, but I want to it pushes me to do better. It's not competition. I know it's not, but it makes me want to do better. It makes me want to learn stuff more. Like just looking at tutorials. Same thing as a lot of other companies, or creative companies do. The other day, I logged into my Netflix account at Love and Reiki. And during our lunch break, we watched Tales by the Light. It's a
I've heard
really good series on Netflix. It's sponsored by Canon, but like it's videos about videographers or photographers.
Oh, very
and, like,
cool.
There's a video like that caught my attention about a free diver. At night, crystal clear water, taking an underwater flashlight and shooting it down, and a free diver coming through. It looks like it's going through a beam of light through another portal. And like that's just it. Like
That is
everything.
so cool.
We just bring everything in just to try to push us to do better.
Yeah.
Like there's no competition. I mean, there is competition, but it's fun competition. It's
Right.
not
It's good spirited.
I hate that person and I need to do so much better than them so I can just crush them.
A few podcasts ago, we had Stephen Gray, who's a mutual friend of ours. That's kind of how we met, was through him. Shout out Long Hollow Creatives here. If you can see the black on black sticker there.
That one. This one. I don't know which one could possibly be.
So Stephen and I talked a bit about how we'd kind of gotten into real estate shooting at the same time. And we actually have shared clients back and forth. When I can't do it, I recommend to him. He's shot a lot my way as well. And as we were kind of developing, he worked with the Love and Reiki team for a while as well. And
all this stuff I didn't know about either.
Yeah.
Nor did I ever think that I would get into real estate.
Yeah.
But
and we got into architectural at the same time. And so, or right around the same time. So as we were developing our looks, our process, our shooting styles, and building our client bases, we would, talk back and forth, and we still do, and we'll share edits back and forth with each other. And early on, we would kind of jab at each other, friendly, like, you didn't correct this, or you got shadows there, or, you missed pulling that window in.
Exactly.
And, friendly jibes, but it was just a friendly way of pushing yourself because it's kind of a rising tide situation.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to lift all those boats. And I found here in the last 10 years, the quality of photographer and videographer in this area has just skyrocketed.
It's insane, especially like, from when I started Pensacola Vibes to now, is that everyone that's not, I don't want to say copying me, but doing the same stuff But it's
Mhm.
not that they're doing the same. Everyone is doing the same thing. Like
Mhm.
I can't tell you how many people do the logo that's on this, and like just a simple circle logo and like just lines, and that's easy for someone that's not a graphic designer. But it
Mhm.
is so hard to do something so simplistic,
Right.
and you see people copying me, but it's just not there.
Right.
But I know in a few years they'll get there, and
Right.
that's so awesome to me. Which means that I need to push myself and to do something that's more unique than that. Like I know
Yeah.
my friend Laura, Laura Bogan, she shoots the Blue Angels a lot of times, and she shoots it from a perspective, and then someone else will do the same thing, and sometimes it will, irritate some people. Like, oh, the person's copying me. I'm like, that's the best form. Like, that's flattery. Like, they
Mhm.
just copied you. Like, you're doing something amazing. Now you just have to find that next thing to do.
Right.
Just always push the envelope. Don't just stop and say that was the best thing I could do. Push it somehow. Somehow. Like, I was on top of the Hilton, like leaning off with my legs, which I don't think I'll ever be able to get on the ceiling of the roof of the Hilton anymore if they see the photo. But you always got to push it. You got
Yeah.
to push for the best angle. Like, do it for the angle, do it for the shot. But that's
Yeah.
how it is. Like, you could have the best camera in the world, but it's not going to matter if you don't have the best angle or in the right situation at the time.
Right. And speaking of rooftops, there now this was before the last buyout a few years ago, so I don't know if it's the same general manager, but the old Brent building there at Palafox and Garden.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a way to get up on the roof, and the general manager there used to be very kind. If you just introduce yourself, say hi to him, schedule an appointment, he'd walk you up past the elevator, the big wheels that pull the elevators. You'd have to walk right next to him and then go up a half flight of stairs, and you'd be on the roof. And he'd let photographers shoot up there on the rooftop, and then you'd have the downtown street looking. And I never took him up on shooting up there.
Yeah.
I did a couple of quick shots while we were up there, but I didn't do a photo shoot or anything up there because I'm like, when I catch that in, I want to make sure it's the right thing in case I do something they don't like and can't come back. I still have never done it, but I know some people who have, and they have some beautiful shots, and it's still one of the taller buildings down there.
Yeah, it's just a cool perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as a photographer, you walk around downtown. Like, how many times can you take a shot right down the middle of Palafox? Like, and then you just think about the angles of what to do. Like, do it from a different corner. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so cool for social media for me to see all these local photographers. Like, okay, cool. The same photographer has done the same thing a million times. Like, the thing on Instagram you see a lot is that someone's in a helicopter. You put the legs out of the helicopter, take the wide angle, and you just see their feet dangling. It's like, oh my God, like, anyone else will think that's the coolest thing ever, but every photographer wants to take their phone and just throw it.
Seen it.
God, I've seen that a million times, but it's still freaking cool. Why?
Right. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons. I mean, drone shots used to be easy because it was a new perspective.
Yeah, just take it up and look down. Boom.
Yep.
Done.
No one's seen that before. It's genius. Now there's so many. Everyone's got a drone, and there's so many great drone shots. And I'm still, one of the things that baffles me about some of the drone shots I see from people, and not even just locals, but just generally. And this is before the newer 1-inch sensor drones. This is like, the little tiny like cell phone sensor drones they were using. The images would look so clean and so great. And like they had done this heavy grade and retouch to them, and they look beautiful. And I'm like, if you'd ever worked with those files, they fall apart when you start working with them. There's just nothing there.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, how did they do that? That from a technical side, I was really impressed, and I was like, I still can't do that. I still can't push a pull them that hard.
I did buy the company Polar Pro. I do have filters for my Mavic, which is once again sound too DJI because the gimbal is messed up. Like, I don't know what's wrong with it this time for some reason.
The 1, the 2.
This is the 1.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
And so I'm gonna get this one fixed, and I'm probably gonna sell it for the Mavic 2 Zoom. But like, if the camera's set on you, the camera itself will twist, and then it will just warp. But I do, for the regular photos, I do put a filter on it. I will say sometimes doing the panoramic shots where you can set up and say take a panoramic photo, and like it'll take 3 photos vertically, or you can do like a complete horizontal. It'll stitch 21 photos.
Oh wow!
And the resolution, and it's simple. If it's on the controller, it's easy to use. But it takes looking at the tutorial of like, how are people getting this vertical photo on Instagram? And if I do that and I turn it 90 degrees, it looks pixelated as crap. Like, it does not look good. So they're stitching 3 photos together, and literally the drone, you click it, the drone goes boop 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 boop. And you just take it into a program and just merge them all together. So that's how you do that.
Robots, the
Yeah.
photographers of tomorrow.
Thanks, Skynet.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you've done shirts, you've done hoodies, you've done several logo designs. Is there kind of a dream you want to get to? Do you want to like push this to jackets and
The canvas is what I really am passionate about. Like I've been really doing that to order. The most recent photo I took today on my personal, or yesterday on my personal Instagram account, I had someone message me, "I want this. Well, how much is it in this size?" And I'm like, that, and he Venmo'd me cash. Boom, done. You give me the money, I'll print it right then and there.
nice?
But I don't know what the quality is until I get it. So that's
Right.
why I'm building like a bank. Like this picture didn't come out that good, so I'm not gonna put it on the website.
Right.
So like, I mean, the possibilities are endless. Like I talk about like phone cases, like with know the back being a drone shot of the pier. Like this
Yeah.
is so small. Like even if the drone photo wasn't that great quality, brought down to this
Right.
size, it'd be fine. Like
Yeah.
it's just me taking the time to do it. And
Yeah.
I try to take my time, try to be patient with it, and just do it correctly instead of just spending a ton of money and then getting nothing in return because I think it looks good. It's because I think I can ask like 5 people if they look good too, but
Right.
like you just gotta figure it out. Just take your time.
And I assume like most creatives, especially in the social space that you're in, you probably have a group of friends that have kind of, whether you intentionally or unintentionally, they kind of come along with you. And they're kind of the ones that you trust and stuff. I know you have a girlfriend that helps you with some stuff now, and because she's just with you
Yeah.
when you do it. And so,
And she knows I take critique really well, and it means a lot coming from her because she won't lie to me about that stuff. And so it's a dumb idea. I will definitely get slapped in the forehead. So that's what it'd be like that
yeah,
sometimes.
I married one of those. She's not shy with the correction, and that's good. It makes you better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's weird. Like, I always forget when I started. I started Pensacola Vibes, and I had to look at my shirt, and it says established 2015. It's been 4 years. It's about to go on 5. And it's like, wow, I haven't done it for that long. But, like, who knows? Like, if you take the time to do it correctly, should pay off in the end. Like, maybe this won't, but it doesn't matter to me. I'll keep on doing it because I'm passionate about it. It doesn't, I mean, I think that's the reason why Pensacola Vibes is still going on because I'm not rushing it.
And this is one thing I am not. I was never a graphic designer. People thought because I was a photographer and I did video, they thought I then did design, and they thought I also did web stuff.
Exactly.
And I'm like, those things are not connected.
If you're a graphic designer, you have to know code. It's like, no. But that's the thing I think I'm unique in that aspect is that I'm not the best at all of it, but I have done all of it. I've done websites when it was just HTML and just PHP, and then all of a sudden WordPress came around, and you don't need to know code anymore, but you need to understand some of the basics. You need to understand that WordPress is in 3 columns, and that's all you can do, or like 1/3 and then 2/3. So I did graphic design, web design, did some coding. Then I started getting video editing now, and it's just I've been able to juggle it all, and that's easier for me. I think that's the reason why Pensacola Vibes is successful. It's because I've been able to do it all myself. But also I'm not afraid to ask someone to do something for me and help me.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, if you
gotta find a good balance.
Not to intimidate you, but if you check out the logo for Creatives Incorporated,
I've seen it.
What I did is I got a font I liked, and then I tilted it.
Damn.
And then I put a box around it.
As long as you didn't put a wreath around it.
No, and then I put a box around it, and I turned the text yellow.
So Whitney, she is she owns Vegan Social, and so that's how Sean did the same thing. I found a cool font for her logo, and I thought it looked cool. It looked like a brush, and that's why I always try to tell people try to do something unique. And I want her to take a brush and like try to trace it the best you can. And I think it's crazy now. You don't need to scan it to scan your images. Right. Literally, you can just take your phone and take it. And you can crop it out and do this stuff like that. And that's what I want to do. The next thing for Pensacola Vibes is do something with my hand. I suck at drawing though. But that's the thing. Like I suck at it. I don't think I can get any better. So I'm going to take that to someone else and get them to draw Pensacola Vibes. It might be like Veronique from Hatchmark.
Yeah. She does great work.
Sure. It's amazing. So maybe that's the route I would go, but we'll see.
That wonderful, welcome to Pensacola mural stuff was Veronique and
Wish You Were Here.
Wish You Were Here.
Pensacola.
And it was
Veronique and Somi.
Veronique and Somi Joy. Yeah.
Both of them are awesome. I know too many people to the point where I feel I don't know. I should just ask one of them to do one thing and then another one because I don't want to single anyone out because
Right.
they're all amazing. Like
Yeah.
Veronique is Veronique, and like there's another girl doing the mural in Perfect Plane. Like I've never heard of her before,
Hmm.
and I don't know if
I
it's
just started following her. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
so did I.
does. She's done some really great stuff
Yeah,
around
and
town.
that's the thing. Like that's how I like doing Pensacola Vibes because people don't know it's me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool to be the underdog and not putting my face on something.
Right.
Because I like to let my work speak for itself.
So you've had a lot of success, and we've talked about that being kind of hard fought, but it takes a lot of strategy. It takes a lot of learning.
For sure.
So do you have any tips for people who are wanting to grow in social media spaces?
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, this is an experimentation. It's a reason to use my space. It's a great chance to sit down and talk with other creatives. This is something I love doing, and in my life, I don't get to do enough of.
Exactly.
And I thought this would be a great thing to get to watch if I was a younger guy.
Yeah.
And if local working pros and creatives were doing this in my area, I'd love to see it. But
yeah.
I have no idea how to promote that. I'm not good at it, and I think a lot of people aren't. So is there anything that you found that's been successful for you?
I mean, it's been a lot of trial and error. I can't say that any of these techniques work, but I think they do. As an example, I'm posting something on Instagram. It's a great photo. And I also have a Facebook account as well. The same business. On Instagram, it gives you an option to share it on Facebook. You can take the little slider and say post on Facebook as well. I never do that. Never do it for Instagram. Never do it for Pensacola Vibes. I take that photo, I post it on Instagram, and then I'll literally go to my Facebook Pages Manager, and I'll post the same photo and not post all the hashtags. So it's different because I know Facebook and Instagram, their own. Facebook owns Instagram. So if they see duplicate stuff coming from Instagram, that probably is not going to show up that high on the newsfeed. So I always try to do something a little more unique. The next thing that I haven't done yet is taking that photo, posting it on Instagram, and before I post it on Facebook, cropping the photo a little bit so that the image DNA doesn't match up, so it looks a little bit more unique. Am I crazy for doing this? Maybe, but I think I have more interaction on Facebook. A lot of people post viral stuff and they get some kind of reaction, and I always say for businesses or anyone that can help you, like Pensacola Vibes, I post a photo, I ask a friend sitting right next to me. I know I'm asking a lot. This is stupid. I'll buy your next drink, but can you like my post? But not only like it, but using one of the other emotions. So you have like, you have love, you have the wow, you have the sad, and I forget what. I think there was another one, but it's irrelevant. And I always say that's a point system. You like a picture, that's one
point.
Yeah. So you like a picture, that's 1 point. You love a picture, that's 2 points. Wow is 3 points. If you can get more people to take more steps into doing something with your post, the likelihood of that post showing up on someone else's news feed is a lot higher than anyone else. If you can get someone to love a post and then share it onto the news feed, that is the golden ticket. That's what you want. You want the most interaction as possible. The next step was to get someone to comment on it and not just use 2 words. I think Facebook realizes it because it's more unique. And I've realized that in helping other businesses and helping other people, that they'll show up much more likely on other people's newsfeed if they do those steps.
I think that's really cool stuff. And I didn't understand that there was so much that I know some people have used the boost and the promote and all that stuff.
And keywords and hashtags. Hashtags to me on Facebook are absolutely irrelevant.
Okay.
Like on Instagram, yes. I will say if you make a post on Instagram and use a bunch of hashtags, the hashtags are only going to help you with bots because the bots are going to be liking your posts. And you'll see that on comments like, wow, great post or great picture. Well, it wasn't a picture. It was a video. So obviously that's spam.
Right.
Aside from that, like tagging people on your Instagram post to have it reshared. Like if I tag Explorer Pensacola on my personal feed, hopefully she'll, as in Amber Fletcher, reshare it. And then that will gain me more followings because Instagram is a lot harder to get a following. Like you have to actually get people to interact with you. And they'll see if it's a cool photo. They'll actually take the step to click your profile and then follow you. That's the best thing you can possibly do. So that's why you always try to bring out the best footage, the best pictures. And you have to think to yourself, would you want to follow that? Would you like that if it was like, if you're watching yourself
Mhm.
and if you say no, then don't do it. Don't post it. It's not worth anyone's time. Don't waste anyone's time.
Do you find, I know on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
consistency in how often and then how consistently you're posting really help the algorithm there a lot. And that's what people are talking about now. Are you finding those things matter at all in Facebook and Instagram marketing?
I think when you're first starting out, you always want to be relevant, but you don't want to do it too much. You don't want, like, especially on Facebook or Instagram, you don't want to be posting more than 3 times a day. Sometimes I say if you can find the niche, it's like 1 post a day. And then people say, well, what's the time? What's the time you should post? And I was like, if you're going to go that far, you've lost. You shouldn't be doing it anymore. I always find the best times to post is when I'm on my phone. When I'm just aimlessly scrolling, it's like, ah, shit, if I'm on, everyone else is probably on. And that's when I post. Like, literally, like, it could be the most odd times. And it doesn't matter. It could also be the weather. Like, if it's raining and it's 10 a.m., like, post something, because everyone else is probably on their phones just waiting to go outside, waiting to do something, waiting to get from point A to point B. It's a never-ending battle. It's always trial and error. So don't just look at some sheet that says post at 3 o'clock on Friday. Don't do that. Just think about your own target audience.
That's fantastic. Good information.
Yeah, I try.
So I know, let's revisit back to kind of tools of the trade, because you talked about drones. We talked about, the GoPro. I know you mentioned you use the A7Ss for video at work. Do you care about tools at all? Some people, like, they're tech guys. Like, I am a gearhead. I love we're in the studio. I love this stuff. But I've met some creatives. It's if they could create what they're doing and not have to interact with some tool, they would be more than happy. It's just, it's a necessity. Where do you fall on that?
For me, it does not matter. It's irrelevant to me. My Canon T6, I take photos on it. It's got spots all over the sensor. And I know in Lightroom that I have on my phone, just go like that and do the healing brush, and that little dot is gone. To me, it's just being in the moment. It doesn't matter anymore if you have the best equipment. It's 2019. I think it matters with lighting and audio. Aside from that, the video, photos, you just have to know what the right settings are.
Yeah.
Just tutorials on that. Aside from that, if I used my Canon T6 for the video for Whitney and her vegan social at Sky's Pizza, and it came out good, came out decent. It wasn't lagging when I was editing it. It was actually easier because it wasn't that hard on my computer. You have to realize that it's just going to be shown on a screen this big. It's not going to be in the movie theaters, and that's it. I'm from Jersey, so.
Really?
Yeah, I was born in Jersey.
How long have you been here?
I've been in Pensacola since 2007, and then I think.
So you moved down when you graduated?
I moved to Fort Lauderdale when I was 6, and I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. I was in the biggest high school in the nation. We had around 7,000 kids.
Oh wow!
My graduating class was 1,200. That's why I felt like this is a weird story to tell. Like, I moved to Pensacola. I went to UWF freshman year. I went to the Pace Walmart, and I felt awkward being there because it was just white people. I was not used to it. Then everyone's like, well, you have to treat people as a minority. And I'm not going to say that I am a minority, but where I was, like, growing up, like, white people were a minority, and, like, Hispanics were the majority. It was super cool. Like, but I do miss that. I do miss that South Florida aspect. Well, there's too many damn people down there. There's way too many. I love visiting, though. I love visiting Fort Lauderdale and St. Pete, that kind of area. But it was cool to be raised in that environment and not think about it. So,
did you find that it was easy to kind of find a creative side or just explore when you were at a school that big? Or because no one...
No.
How can they keep track of that?
I didn't start drinking until I was 22 also. And, like, I just did JRTC. I would go do JRTC, leave, go play soccer. And then I stopped playing soccer, and then I started playing inline hockey in South Florida. And, like, literally, that's what I would do. Like, I remember one time I came home, and my dad swore up and down that I was smoking pot because my eyes were red. And it's because I was playing Guitar Hero till 2 a.m. Like, that was my life.
So you didn't kind of find that creative side of yourself till I didn't realize here in the recent years.
Yeah, I mean, in high school, like I said, I downloaded Photoshop illegally, but I just never thought of it as a creative side. It just went.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, just military. I wanted to do that. I love playing Black Hawk Down, and like I love making signatures on Photoshop. And then I was editing photos for fun. I
Yeah.
never thought that that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
Like when I went to UWF, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just majored in history. Freshman year, majored in history and RTC. And then like something snapped. I was like, that's not what I want to do. So some people figure out what they want to do before college, sometimes before like in the middle of college, and some people don't even go to college.
Yep.
So
I
yeah.
mean, I'm with you there, man. I never thought I loved music and I wanted to kind of be a studio mixer.
Mhm.
And I had these studios I wanted to go to, but I was like, oh, okay, I had some health problems and I need to go more of a traditional route. And so I had done training for that and everything down in Orlando. And I said, no, I'm going to use my scholarship, came back up here, and I was just going to get a job like everybody else. I was going to find something I could do. If it was loosely related to it, that'd be great. And so I got into the, production sound mixing, and then from there, video, from there, photography, just kind of snowballed in these different ways throughout college. And I was started working and getting paid to do those things. And I'm in that thing that I got my bachelor's, my master's, and I paid for them through scholarship. Yeah, my parents helped out, but a lot of it was possible because I was freelancing the whole time. And the job I used to pay my way to get a degree is what I ended up doing. I don't use the degree.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's the same thing. It's been an interesting roller coaster, and I'm actually excited to where it's going to take me now. Like I feel like what I've done so far, I had never realized that I've just been teaching myself, and like fortunate to have like the employees that I work with at Levin Ricky. I like fortunate to have everyone at Waterboys that I loved, and then to go to another business where I actually love everyone too. Like it's an awesome environment. The creative environment wouldn't be the same if I didn't like someone. Well, there's one person like would not have the same kind of vibe. I hate that I'm using that word, but it's true. Like Chris, like I'll ask him anything. He'll be more than happy to help me, and I do the same thing with him. Like he just bought a drone, bought a Mavic, the second one, and I taught him everything I know. I have no problem. Yeah, it's just been fun. And it's been fun talking to you too.
This has been great, man. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, anytime.
On the way out, I always ask people if there's a tip for anything you do, not related to necessarily the kind of promotional stuff we just talked about, but just a general tip, something that you wish someone had told you before you started this whole endeavor. What would you say?
I'd probably say talk to people more. Don't be afraid to learn something and force yourself to go out and talk to people at events. That's the one thing I think I took for granted in college is that I would go to class and they would say, hey, we're going to go do some social networking or not just networking in general. I'm like, no, I'm just going to go back and play Call of Duty. And I think that's the thing. And then aside from that, just keep on keeping on and just keep on doing what you love and don't let anyone else say you're doing a shitty job and just if you keep on doing it, you're obviously going to be better. If you're more passionate about it, just whatever.
Dude, man, thank you so much. This has been great.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Bye.